Hi, Jeff Munn, creating extraordinary futures. And today I have some random ramblings about the Great Resignation. It's something that it seems like the last few days in particular, I keep seeing news articles, editorials, op ed pieces on the Great Resignation and what it means. And it felt like it was happening early in the pandemic, and now hopefully we're at the tail end of the pandemic. Omicron has worked its way through the system, apparently. I'm beginning to see people without masks again. And I was just thinking about, well, what is the Great Resignation? Is it a thing? And if so, what does it mean? And to me, there's two aspects of this. One is this everybody's quitting. And the second is more of a connotation of the word um, resignation, this sighing, um, when you are resigned to something, it's almost like you've kind of given up. And I think that's a really interesting way to think about this, because a lot of the people that I know before the pandemic, they were running hard. They were running 50 miles an hour, 75 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour, nonstop, all the time. And then suddenly, almost overnight, many of them didn't have nearly as much to do. They had more time to think, more time to ponder what was important to them, more time to see whether what they had been doing was working. And there can be this addictive quality to a lot of corporate life. I see it in the leaders that I work with. I see it in the people who report to them and the people who report to them. This sense of I always need to be on the go. I judge my performance by my output, by my hours in the office. And a lot of that went away. When the only time your boss sees you is on Zoom, they don't know what you're doing the rest of the time. And there was this really interesting phenomenon where people discovered when they weren't fully charged with adrenaline and cortisol 24/7, they actually got more done. They actually had different ideas. They actually had a greater impact. And sometimes that turned into ways of doing a job differently. And sometimes there was a mismatch between what the employee was seeing and what the organization was seeing. And maybe the organization decided, hey, we need to rework our strategy, or we need to get more done with fewer people, and started, basically operating from that place of a push, adrenaline, output, etc. More things with fewer people. And the employee said, wait a minute, that actually doesn't work for me. So when I think about the Great Resignation, I come away with it thinking about people realizing a lot of what I'm pointing to as a coach, that when you slow down, when you let yourself slow down, because I don't think slowing down is something you consciously do. It's what naturally happens when you stop running around with your hair on fire. And when you discover your hair doesn't have to be on fire, you start thinking about your life, your job, your purpose, your impact, all those words differently. And so that's what I see in the Great Resignation, this letting down, this letting go, this opening up to new possibilities. And I see it as a very positive thing. I think we're going to have to rethink the way we do a lot of things, rethink what we ask of our employees, of our stakeholders, rethink the kinds of strategies and partnerships that are possible. And so I'm really excited about the Great Resignation. I see it as what I hope is a shift that's been a long time coming. And I'm wondering what you think. And, by all means, leave a comment, reach out to me. Let me know what you're thinking about the Great Resignation and how it might be impacting you personally. Have fun experimenting with that. I look forward to hearing about it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.